Hey, we're live. All right. All right. This is my first ever live video. Let's see how this goes. We're gonna give it a couple minutes here to see if anybody's gonna join. I did promote this a little bit. Don't have a huge following yet, but we'll see if anybody wants to join up. How's the mic sound? Is it too low? Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. All right, guys, we're gonna give this a couple more minutes. Man, I'm excited. I'm excited for Lakewood. This is probably one of my favorite tracks to go to. The viewing is uh is really good, except when it's super hot. There is no shade on this track. I'll tell you that. Um, Went and left with many a sunburns. All right, appreciate that. Appreciate that, Josh. Loud and clear. All right. Again, we're going to give it a couple more minutes here just to see if anybody trickles in. I don't expect many, if at all, just a couple, maybe one or two of my buddies. So we'll see how it goes. I have my notes that I'm going to start with, what I'm looking for this weekend in the race. And then if you have any questions for me, what you're looking for, Josh, hopefully it's a better fantasy result from you or at all. And I know that goes with you sometimes. But all right, yep, let's go ahead and get into this. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. Let's start with the 250 class. Um, Looking back at the results, um, I think this is going to be a good weekend for Chance Hymas. So if you remember last year, um, Hymas killed Deegan, like 1-1. Deegan had his chance, couldn't do anything with it. Hymas 1-1. Even the year before that, he had a podium and or no, excuse me, he had a moto win. I forget what happened to his first moto. He had 11th or something like that, but he came back and won the second moto. So he's got 3 moto wins here in the last 2 years, and then even 3 years ago he had a podium. So Hymas rides really well here. I'm expecting him. He's been kind of a slump to start off. I expect him to. I'm not going to say bounce back. I don't think he gets a win, but I think that he finally makes strides towards a podium. And that's just kind of where I feel like he's at right now. Just because you're good at a track doesn't mean you're going to win. Every year is different. But looking back at his results, I think Hymas is going to kind of correct himself a little bit. I see him maybe getting the last spot on the podium, maybe third or fourth, right in there. So we'll see how that goes. Let's get into also what I'm looking for is, can Seth Hammaker. So I've been saying that Hammaker makes boneheaded crashes, and the first 3 motos were great. And then when he not did he just bonehead, but he pinballed. I mean, went outside, made everybody wreck on the outside, pinballed back to the inside, made everybody wreck on the inside. Like it's like he was building up his boneheaded crash through 3 motos and just unleashed it in that last moto. Um, but he came back. He came back to the pack, salvaged a podium, good ride. I'm not going to say the PC curse was in effect because he did come back. And like I said, he salvaged it. It was a championship ride, especially in that class to come back in the top 10. That was good. So that's kind of what I'm looking for Hammaker. Does he keep getting good starts, which is going to be huge here at Lakewood? It's huge every race, but we'll talk about that a little bit more. So the big news everybody's talking about, the Coonan brothers. The Coonan brothers from the MXGP series are coming over to the States. This is their first of 3 races, is what I'm reading. And I'm going to say it right now. As good as Sasha Coonan is as starts, and it being an uphill start, he's a smaller guy. If Sasha Coonan does not make any mistakes, he is going to win this race. You can stamp it right now. Sasha Coonan for the win if he doesn't wreck, because he is the modern day James Stewart of crash or win. So if he doesn't crash, I could see him winning because he's going to get great starts. And like I said, with it being an uphill start, I'm looking for guys like Sasha Kunin and Seth Hamaker to get good starts. So that leads me to my next guy who this is not going to bode well for, Kitchen. Kitchen rides well at Lakewood, but he's a bigger guy. He's not consistent on the starts. And with this being an uphill start, I think he has one of those weird motos, and I don't see him. Yeah, I don't see him doing well. Maybe podium-ish, maybe, but time will tell with that. I think he has to fight for around a fourth overall. That's just my take on Kitchen for this round. It's a new year. He seems to be a little different this year with his attitude and his charge. So we'll see how it goes. So also what I'm looking for this week is I'm looking for some bounce back rides from guys that had really good round ones. I'm talking Caden Dudney. Caden Dudney had second overall with a 6.4, which was a record, I believe is what I read. And then the second round was just, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I didn't read anything on him. I don't know what happened. 22-20 moto scores, scored 2 points the whole day. I don't know if that speaks to the depth of the class, but I had him as a sneaky title favorite and a 22-20. There must have been bike problems or something. I don't know. I'm looking for a bounce back from Caden Dudney. Also, Lux Turner. Throughout the week, I've seen some interviews with him. I guess he had some bike problems and got his radiator messed with the first moto. Second moto didn't have a back brake. So like I said in my my studs and duds segment, that was a little bit of karma for Lux Turner. He was talking some crap, I felt like. And so yeah, I think he bounces back this weekend, probably back in the top 10 where he left off. Let's see here. So this one last thing on the 250s here, I guess not one last thing, but this race is going to come down to starts for sure. Being an uphill start, the lighter riders are going to have the momentum. They're going to Hamaker, Sasha Kunin, Chance Hymas, smaller guys, uphill start. I think we're going to see those names a lot this weekend. So I'd watch for that. So, all right, I'm going to give you podium predictions. And I'm going to give you two editions. I'm going to give you a no crash edition. Okay. I'm going to give you, because there's just guys that crash a lot. So my no crash podium prediction is Sasha Kunin for the win, Hamaker second, and Hymas third. That's my podium. I know Kitchen. I'm telling you, Kitchen. I think Kitchen struggles, even though he does ride this track well. I think maybe he takes the third spot from Hymas. I don't know. I think it's Hymas. You can interchange Hymas and Kitchen for the third spot on the podium if you want, but we'll see. That's why we dropped the gate. We go racing. That's just my prediction. So I also have a crash prediction, a crash podium edition. If Sasha does what Sasha does and Rex, my podium looks a little different. And also with Hamaker, if Sasha and Hamaker both make their weird one moto kind of blunders, it's going to change up the podium a little bit. I do have Kitchen winning if those two guys make mistakes. I still have Hymas on there. Kitchen, Hymas, Hamaker would be my podium. Even though Hamaker, this is a crash edition, I have him crashing. I still think he gets a podium because the guy has just got great fitness, great determination, and he's going to be hard to beat unless the crash is catastrophic or has causes like a bike malfunction. Let's see. JK113 said Dudney had high hopes for him, but not sure he is up for it. I feel the exact same way. I feel like he got some preseason hype there and he was being talked about a lot. But yeah, and he did. He lived up to it the first round. I mean, he didn't like set the world on fire. 6.4 moto scores for a second overall. Um, but for a rookie, his or rookie-ish for his yeah, he did really well, and I expected a lot that second round. I think I even picked him for fantasy. Um, yeah, that was a weird race. I don't like I said, I didn't read a lot into what happened to him over the break. But we'll see if he comes back and yeah, I think he's a top 10. He's got to be a top 10 guy. He's such a good starter. That was just a weird race. That was a rookie race. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt for the rookie there. Um, oh, some new news broke. I think it was today. Carson Wood, Carson Wood is now making his debut this weekend, and that kid freaking rips. Um, I am interested to see how he stacks in with the rest of the younger guys. The Enzo Timmermans, um, Dudney, Manier. Like, I think it'd be cool to have like a side bet to see who does the best out of the rookies. Like, I pick a rookie and somebody else picks a rookie. Whoever does better wins the bet. But yeah, Carson Wood, interested to see what he can do. I think what I saw was he was like the top 10 overall ever amateur coming out. Like he's the 10th ranked. So he's got some hype. He has got some hype for sure. I'm not going to make this too long. Let's get this into the 450s now. Little less to talk about here just because Jet, I think, is going to make this really boring again. Um, so I'm gonna say Jet. Let's start with Jet. He's gonna dominate. His legs good. He's figuring out his how his weekly routine's gonna go with rest, riding, and he's only gonna get better. And I don't think that he knew kind of what program he wanted to be on for that first round. And I think he just really he's Jet. He's a genius, and he just eased into it. Kind of see where everybody was at, see where he's at. Being catching everybody that second moto gave him some confidence, and I think that yeah, you saw what that confidence did for that second race, 1-1 back to Jet fashion. Let's get into Deegan. I think he's taken a step backwards this week. This is a GP style track. I think Prado is going to bounce back. I talked a lot of crap on him. As you may have seen in my Instagram channel and YouTube shorts, like I made some memes about. I was hard on him. I was hard on the guy because I stand by this belief that if you look back in the past, guys like Villapoto, guys like Carmichael Stewart, they never finished outside the top 10 just because they had to start outside, right? So say they had a one bad moto, they didn't come back and follow it up with a 13th. They won. They came back and said, "I'm not making a bad day worse," and they freaking won the race. So for Prado to only get a 13th, I don't know if I consider him a title threat anymore. But with that being said, I do think with this being a European style track, he does bounce back, and I have him battling with Hunter for the second spot on the podium. I think Jet dominates again. For Prado, big race to see where he is mentally. Deegan takes a step back. I got way off track there. Deegan takes a step back, gets way up. Excuse me. Deegan, yeah, he's going to take a step back because Prado is going to be good. That's where I was going with that, with being a European track. So I have Jet, Prado, and Hunter. And then I'm going to go with Lucas Kunin even beating Deegan. Because Kunin, if you follow MXGP, Kunin is a beast. And I wouldn't be surprised if he mixes it up there with Jet. I don't think he beats Jet because, man, until somebody just proves me wrong, I don't know. A little bit on Hunter. He gained a lot of confidence over Supercross and round one, and I feel like it's all gone. Now, I can't speak for Hunter, but I think he knows, as well as everybody else that saw what happened last weekend. Jet is a moto genius. I'm gonna say exactly what I said in my studs and duds segment. Um, he just learned Hunter's pace. He rode at Hunter's pace and was kind of like, okay, this is what it's gonna be. This is what you got. And then he just in the middle of the race went Jet's pace. He's like, all right, I'm not gonna run your pace for 2 laps. I'm gonna run my pace and then back it down to your pace and just maintain my lead. That's exactly what he did. And he just I think Hunter's not going to come out and say anything, but he just knows. We know from what we watched. We all know what we saw. He knows what he saw. Jet's back. And unless Jet is buried and Hunter gets a whole shot and can pull a lead, I just don't, man. I think all the confidence Hunter had is going to be, that's not good. So, really excited about the Coonan brothers coming in. I think they're going to mix it up. Like I said, I have Sasha for the win in the 250s. I have Coonan making the podium. I don't know. Don't ask me where. I don't know. Second, third, whatever. He's going to be in there battling unless something weird happens. Um, yeah, I know that all the Deegan fans might come tear me apart for saying he gets fifth and takes a step backwards, but I truly believe he's struggling with bike stuff. The Honda guys have their stuff so dialed in. Prado's used to the KTM. He rode it in the GPs. He's got his bike dialed. Coonan's got his bike dialed from the MXGP. That's the difference to me. The difference to me is obviously Deegan has the raw speed, but if his bike is bouncing around everywhere compared to the other guys, he's just not going to be able to push it like the other guys. So man, I see him taking a little step back. Now, I'm a Deacon fan. Hopefully, he proves me wrong because I want to see him mixed up with Jet. What I don't want to see is a Jet runaway like it's always been. Uh, I'm all for anybody. I know it might seem like I'm hating on some of these guys, but the better racing for us as the fans is what I want. So I want Deegan, I want Prado. Hopefully, Kuhn's mixing it up. I want all these guys up there battling. That's what I'd like to see. Um, So yeah, if you guys have anything to add to that, shoot me a question, leave some comments. I'll give it here a couple minutes. What do you got? What are you guys looking for? And yeah, just let me know what you're thinking for Lakewood. Um, like I said, I spent a lot of time at this track. I've raced this track. I've won at this track. I've wrecked at this track. Um, of course, that was man C class, B class, way back in the day. Um, Love the track though. Love the dirt. Love the scenery is amazing. It's built into the side of the hill. I'm all for it. So yeah, that's kind of 250, 450, what I'm looking for. I guess we will we're gonna go ahead and end it there. I hope you guys liked the video. Let me see here. JK113. Will Deegan start riding dirty if he's not getting the results that he wants, is what I assume you're trying to say. Um, that's a good question. I think we're all kind of waiting for it. I want to see if Deegan gets a whole shot, does he ride like Vince Freeze? You know what I mean? Like, I think the last 2 weeks have humbled him. That's a good question, Josh. I think the last 2 weeks has humbled him a little bit. He's taken a lot of heat online. I think the last thing I read was he like disabled all the comments and stuff on his social media because he was taking a beating. Yeah, he was taking a licking on there because he talked a lot of crap coming into the series. So I don't think to answer your question, I don't think he does because he doesn't want that drama when he's trying to improve. Deegan before, yes, because he knows that no matter what he did and no matter what all the drama going around, he was going to beat everybody in the 250 class. He had everybody covered. Now, I think he knows he's in for a long summer of thirds and fourths. So riding dirty is not going to do him any good like it was maybe on the 250 class. But I don't know. I don't know what Deegan's thinking, but I say that and maybe he gets a whole shot and Jet goes to pass him. And he just cleans him out in his bad leg and just, oh my gosh, could you imagine what the internet's going to do if that happens? Because we've seen it with way back in the day. Who was it? Michael Lessie. Michael Lessie came into Lakewood hurt, and I forget who was it. Grant. Somebody. So Michael Lessie had like a broken kneecap, and he started off the season winning, and he came into it with a hurt leg, and somebody just destroyed his leg, and he ended up being out for the season after that. But could we see that? Could we see Deegan dive bomb Jet's leg knowing he's hurt? I mean, that'd be super messed up, but it's been done. You know what I mean? It's been done in the past. Why couldn't it be done again? So, yeah, good question. If you don't got anything else, I'm gonna wrap this up at 20 minutes. Hopefully you agreed or disagreed with some of my takes on the race coming up and where everybody's at. Thanks for the questions, Josh. Have a good night, man. And we're out till after the race.